Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. It's a nice flat day out in the water, so my buddy Riley and I are taking out the kayaks. We're gonna take out our spear guns and hopefully get some dinner today. And before we even got on the water, we saw something pretty cool. Look how crazy that is. I asked one of the lifeguards about it. He said it's the Navy doing some routinely training out of Port Everglades. They've got a naval base in there. And I also heard from some other people that this submarine patrols the coast from Pompano all the way down to Hollywood. So pretty awesome to see this. The reef that we're heading out to today is only a segment of the huge Florida Reef, which is a large trek reef that extends from the Dry Tortugas all the way up to St. Lucie in Martin County. It's around 350 miles long. It's considered the third largest of its kind in the world, right behind the Great Mexican Reef and the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And while this all sounds great, the harsh reality is that, according to NOAA, over 70% of Florida's coral reefs are experiencing a net loss of reef habitat. This is due to many factors, including disease, bleaching, ship groundings, and a lot of that has to do with climate change and human activity. I still consider myself very blessed to be able to see all the remnants of this beautiful system, and there's still so much beauty out there. So it's important that we know what's out there and what we can do to protect it. Here's another good look at the submarine while we were paddling out. This thing was pretty scary to look at. I honestly thought that we were gonna get in trouble, but no guide boat rushed up to us. Here we are making our first drop. There's not too much action going on, but there was this little pufferfish hanging out inside a giant barrel sponge, which was pretty neat to look at. But once I get my spear gun, I'm gonna do a quick lap around, throw up some sand, make some grunts, see if anything comes in. So a little behind the scenes, what I did to get these camera angles was I took a tripod mount and zip tied it to the side of my spear gun and screwed in an Insta360 camera on there. So it was pretty unique to have it on there, but I'm definitely not doing this again. It was very clunky, it got in the way of my aiming. It was very inefficient. I think a GoPro on the mast is probably the best bet for spearfishing, but we still got some cool angles, so we're gonna make the most of it. Here I see some antenna poking out a hole, so I go in there to try and nab that lobster with a snare. And you can see that I'm flailing my legs around. This is because I forgot to put some more weight on my weight belt since I had it set up for freshwater. I haven't been diving in saltwater since I'm not home, so this was a little dumb mistake on my part. But on to the next spot. This video was taken back in November, so red grouper season was still open, and Riley spotted one down at 20 feet and told me that I should go for it. After making sure that he was completely oversized, this grouper was about 22 inches and the legal limit is 20. So here I'm lining up and let it fly. And I got that nice spine shot, which immediately paralyzed the fish. Once I get it on the surface, I brain it and bleed it and then gut it in the water. A little later on, we found a lionfish, so I unloaded a bin and took that one out. Lionfish are really invasive down here in South Florida, so if you're able to make the effort to remove them, you absolutely should. As an incentive, they make awesome ceviche. Knowing that that grouper was plenty for Riley and I, we decided to collect our stuff and head on back to shore. Remember to only take what you need and not what you can get. Here we are back at home. I'm gonna take the fillets off this thing and look at that white meat. Awesome. And this is a pretty small grouper, but I could still carve out just a little bit of cheek meat in there. And if you don't know, cheek meat is like the filet mignon of the grouper. It's the cleanest meat on there, and I set this aside just to be able to taste the pure essence of grouper. Once I chop up the fillets into portion, Riley puts some blackening seasoning on there and sears them on both sides. After that, we're gonna make some sandwiches. So now it's time to assemble, starting off with some brioche buns and then some homemade sauce, followed up by some arugula. That stuff is really good on a fish sandwich. Totally recommend it if you haven't tried it. And then we're gonna follow up with our fish. This thing was so juicy, it was so delicious. And then some pickles. And lastly, topped off with some more sauce. Now here's our final result. I didn't even record myself eating this because I knew how animalistic it would be. But it came out delicious. This was exactly what I've been missing while being up in Gainesville. Just fresh fish, catching and cooking. It's the dream. If you made it all the way here, then I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed, and keep on the lookout. Next weekend, I'm going caving. That's gonna be a fun video to make. It's gonna be pretty damn scary. I have a little bit of claustrophobia, but it'll be good to get over it. So until next time, see ya.